Welcome, friends and fiends, to the Cryptique Podcast. My name's Kenny, and I'm here with my co-host, Godden, and together we're here to watch and review every horrific, often hilarious episode of the legendary HBO anthology series, Tales from the Crypt. Here we are, Godden. How are you today?
Doing well. I'm excited to review this one.
Yeah, me too. This is a good episode. I liked it. Hey, by the way, for those of you watching, in real time, right now as we record, Godden and I just finished a vacation. We got together and hung out for like the weekend.
Yeah, it was awesome. A whole group session. So it wasn't just me and Kenny. It was a
right.
big group.
A whole group of us, a whole slew of us people got together. We rented a couple like cabins. Were they cabins?
Yeah, Airbnb cabins. Yeah,
in
Tahoe.
There were big cabins out there in Lake Tahoe. We visited some of the beauty out there that Northern California has to offer, and Godden and I were hanging out. So we actually watched this episode together in one of the large cabins.
Yeah.
And we were just watching it together on the couch, and like periodically people would just like trickle in and watch, like, oh, is this Tales from the Crypt? And they would just leave.
They don't want to handle us. They knew what we were doing.
Yeah. Maybe they got too scared and ran off.
Maybe.
Okay. So, yeah, what are we watching, Godden? What's on the menu today?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. We're actually starting off our season 5, episode 10, Came the Dawn, and it was aired on November 17th, 1993, and it comes to us with the shock suspense stories. So it's been a couple episodes, I feel like, since we had the shock suspense, but correct me if I'm wrong, honestly. While this was airing on November 17th, there was a couple movies that did drop on that day. I'm not sure if you heard of this because I've never seen any of these. So the same day that you're anticipating to either watch this episode or went to the movies that day, you most likely saw Ed and His Dead Mother, which is a dark comedy with Steve Buscemi.
Never heard of that.
The Saint of Fort Washington.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm over 2.
And this one is called Nights on that same day as well. I've never seen Nights.
I'm over 3 on that one.
Oh, I've only heard of Ed and His Dead Mother, but I've never seen it.
Oh, you have heard of that?
But I have heard of it, yeah. That's something on my list that I haven't gotten to yet. But if you're not, interested in any of these movies, then 2 days later, you'd probably be in line for Addams Family Values, realistically. I think a lot of people would be interested in that.
Yeah. I can imagine watching trailers for Addams Family Values while you're kind of watching Tales from the Crypt. I know that HBO didn't show ads during the show, but I think they showed ads like in between the shows. I think.
I mean, yeah, I think cable does just do that. Like, even if it's a, yeah, I think you're right, because some of these episodes are like 20 something minutes, so to fill in the 30-minute time slot, they would throw in a couple ads, I'm sure.
Yeah. Or maybe even, I bet you the original Addams Family might have been on HBO, right? Let's watch that on HBO. Either before or after Maybe, Tales from the Crypt. Hey, I forgot to give my disclaimers before we talked about the episode. We're not experts, people. We are just a couple of knuckleheads getting together every once in a while to talk about a show we really enjoy. If you share our opinion, if you have a differing opinion, just put it down below in the comments. And spoiler warning, we are going to be going into depth on this episode. I have ready the description on the back of the DVD box set here for where is it? There it is. No, it's not. Came the Dawn. Here we are. Came the Dawn. Accept a ride now. Ask questions later. A motorist picks up a woman stranded on the roadside in the rain. And Godden, I done did it again. Or I done didn't do it again. I didn't write a description for this episode.
Well, yeah, because that one's so much better. How could you top that?
That one's so much better. What could we come up with? What was the main guy's name?
Roger.
Roger is having trouble with his wife, who won't who is so mad at him she won't even accept his phone calls. Oh my gosh. After picking up a stranded woman on the side of the road, he takes her back to his place. Right? Is that good so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's following the narrative, yeah.
To get out of the stormy weather.
I haven't seen this live in a while.
Are Roger's actions coming from a place of kindness? Or is he up to something more sinister? And what's the name of the episode? Came the Dawn. After picking up I'm going to say after picking up a suspicious woman. That might have to do for now. This is the last minute.
Are you satisfied with that?
I think that's it. Roger is having trouble with his wife, who's so mad at him she won't even accept his phone calls. After picking up a suspicious woman on the side of the road, he takes her back to his place to get out of the stormy weather. Are Roger's actions coming from a place of kindness? Or is he up to something more sinister? We'll find out when dawn comes. How about that? That's the best I could do for now.
It's so funny.
God, and I think I just got so excited about watching this episode live with you. I just forgot to do my homework. Well, that's a little long. What'd you come up with, Godden?
Mine's simple. Mine is crazy versus crazy. Who wins?
Crazy versus crazy. And what are your general thoughts on crazy versus crazy?
I liked it. I like the whole. I mean, there really is a good amount of underlying suspense happening because you don't know what's going to happen next for each scene and each frame. It seems like there are a lot of connections happening between the two characters, so you're kind of wondering, who's the bad guy or when does the bad guy come in? Because a lot of it's just them kind of learning about each other and them just kind of slowly. Is it peacocking when they're doing a little dancey dance for intimate romance? So
yeah, like just not seducing, but just courting one another.
Yeah, they're just courting one another until we get to the end and we kind of see what really happens. But I enjoyed it. It's a strong episode. I'd watch it again.
I liked it a lot. It is more slasher, and I do like the slasher stuff. And I remember some of our viewers, some commenters had mentioned that this is a slasher episode, and I've been looking forward to it. I don't know if it was Iron Sabbath or TheJimiRyan or Joseph Hill, or maybe all three of them had mentioned that this was kind of a slasher-esque episode. So I definitely appreciated the slasherness of this episode. I like having like a real physical person coming at you. So I did like this very just very lucid. It wasn't very like dreamy or ethereal or like, is this really happening or kind of a thing. It was just, basic, person versus person. And I really appreciate that. Okay. Well, let's get ourselves into the Crypt Keeper intro. He's a flight attendant, and he's basically coming on a loudspeaker saying, "Good evening, creeps, and welcome aboard Tales from the Crypt Scare Lines Flight 666. Offering direct service from your living room straight to hell." I like that line. As we will be experiencing some turbulence, I recommend that you keep your seatbelts fastened and your vomit bags handy. So slip on your dead set and get ready for tonight's in-fright entertainment. It's a nasty tale about my favorite kind of ghouls, dreadheads. I call it Came the Dawn. This is an intro that really has nothing to do with the episode, other than the fact that you can hear kind of a stormy weather going on outside, and this takes place during a storm. So that's it. I guess we get to see the Crypt Keeper just, up to some shenanigans that, whatever he happens to do, we'll come along and we'll watch. But it doesn't necessarily always have to be about the episode. Godden, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I do like when they always implement like either 666s or their puns, like turbulence, like that got me. I actually did not recognize that. Like, oh yeah, you could definitely do that. But one thing that I was actually interested about was because deadhead is an actual term for airlines. So I'm surprised they didn't just use that. Maybe they just want to make their own gimmicks, because he changes to dreadheads, even though that wouldn't be the punchline with deadhead.
What is a deadhead in a flight?
Basically, it'll be workers who just will hop on a plane as well, because they're not realistically like they're not actual revenue people. Like, they're just there to get the free flight, or even an empty flight would be called a deadhead too. So but mainly goes towards employees if they do hop on flights. So
right, because you get if you work for airline, you get like free flights, right? You can just kind of hop aboard.
Yeah, you get free flights and discounts. Yeah, you just hop aboard once you are able to register under that flight. So, yeah, so I'm surprised like they changed to dreadheads if they were going for that angle, but I don't know. This is just interesting for me because they had a free one, I feel like. Yeah.
Also, red eye is a flight, and you can change that to dead eye. I don't remember that being used. That would have been
that's
good
true,
to be used. Yeah.
They could have done red eyes. Yeah.
Red eyes or dead
Flight
eyes.
666 and scare lines. I do enjoy that. Nice.
Yeah, scare lines. Red eye is the first flight of the day, right? Is that what it is? Red eye?
Yeah, the earliest flight, because some people sometimes they didn't sleep the night before, or they woke up really early, so their eyes are like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such an early flight.
They're bloodshot eyes, red eyes.
Bloodshot, yep.
All right, well, that brings us to the opening panel, which is a woman by a fireplace kind of cowering at another person holding a knife at them. And I don't know how much I like this one, because it kind of I think it gives it away, quite frankly. I think it gives it away that the victim is the woman. I don't know how I feel about that.
I see. I just don't like how that's not the weapon.
It's not the weapon they used either. That's right.
It's not the weapon at all.
No.
But it has an hourglass body figure, so it's not. It was supposed to maybe interpret that maybe it's another woman killing a woman kind of deal. So.
Oh right, you can see just the hip, like it is a female killer. Yeah. I think they could have done the scene in the bathroom stall. That might have been better.
Oh yeah,
because then it wouldn't have been spoilery. Nice, it would have been the opening, but it was still kind of horrific,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should have actually.
Yeah, I'm not. Nice. I mean, it's a good. I like the picture and everything. It looks good. I don't like it for this episode because I think it gives too much away. And yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I still like the art style though. I always like the art style in these, by the way. I think they always have good opening panels. All right. Well, the opening scene is in a restaurant, and it's like it's a first person view, and you're looking at the woman. So basically, you're at dinner, right? As the camera watching a woman. And she starts off by pouring champagne into a flute glass, but she's pouring it over her finger. Like, that's weird. So she's does that help the bubbles, I wonder? Does that prevent the bubbles from getting too out of hand if you pour it over your finger?
Oh, actually, I think you're right, because there was something I saw when I was younger, and these guys were saying, oh, if you want to pour your Coke or soda and you don't want to spill over, just put your finger in the glass as it's pouring in, because I guess the way it reacts, it won't be as aggressive with the bubbles. I guess it'll actually like kind of tap out. So maybe you're right, but
I've poured like a soda or something, and if it starts to bubble over, you can stick your finger in the cup. I've done that before, but I've never poured it over my finger. Maybe it's just implying that this woman knows what she's doing. she's had champagne before. She knows the finger trick.
Or she's just being sexy, like overly sexy.
Right. She's, oh, look at my fingers all wet. Oh, she should have licked her finger, like put it in her mouth.
Oh, yeah. So
anyway,
you're right.
So she's pouring the champagne and she's talking to the camera. She says, "You can't fool me with your Boy Scout smile. I know exactly what you're doing, and I'm not doing a thing to stop you." And then you see the camera go down to her breasts. "Right now, you're undressing me with your eyes, aren't you? Wouldn't it be more fun to do it with your hands? Hold that thought while I go to the ladies' room. Then we can get out of here." and she gives him a little wink. And then as she stands up, she even kind of flashes him her lingerie, like her underwear as she leaves. So she wants it bad, Godden. She is, as we say, thirsty. And not for champagne.
Not for champagne, no. But she is thirsty.
When she goes to the bathroom, she sits in the stall. She's kind of, she's by herself in the bathroom, but she's like practicing an orgasm by herself. Like,
yeah.
So she's preparing to fake it tonight, I think. She's basically just, moaning in the bathroom by herself. She's even got a mirror, like she's watching herself to make sure she's got all of her facial expressions right. And she's like, oh my God, you're so big. And when she says that, she looks at her teeth and she sees she's got some little lipstick there, so she tries to fix it. In that moment, somebody walks in and shuts the light off, and she goes, oh, I'm in here, hello, I'm in here. And then she goes, it's occupado, can you turn the lights back on, please? So at that moment, somebody stands in front of her stall, breaks the door open, and you see the silhouette, like, because there's a window full of light behind her. And so you just see kind of her silhouette. It's a woman, and she raises like a hatchet or an axe or something and just basically kills the woman right there in the bathroom. And she tries to climb over the stall with her bloody hands, but she ends up just falling. And then you see the blood kind of pooling in the bathroom just as we kind of fade out of that scene. What do you think of this intro, Godden? I thought it was a strong intro.
It is a strong intro. It's definitely eye-catching. Going on a date with we never got her name, but the blonde victim.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that really annoyed me was when she was in the stall practicing her orgasm. She was like breathing in through her teeth. It was just bothering me. Like, why was she doing that? Like,
yeah, can you not orgasm like that, please? Can you imagine, like, in the moment? I'm sorry, I know we're in the middle of this, but can you not do that?
Can you not do that? Yeah, I guess I don't understand the motive. If you were to fake it, like, like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess about a woman's. I don't have that, frame of thinking.
Yeah,
but.
well, it definitely strokes a man's ego to think that they're that, that big and good in bed to just make any woman orgasm.
That's so funny. But the kill was cool. I like the kill, and then the blood spooling slowly.
Mm-hmm.
It was really neat. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if when she was being axed, she was saying, oh, it's so big.
Oh, the axe. Yeah.
So it's like she brought in like a giant, huge axe or something. That would have been funny to have her moaning mirror the moaning of her death. That would have been funny.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I agree.
That brings us to our main character, Roger. He's driving in a stormy night. I think he's driving a Porsche. Is he? It's a fancy car. I think it is a Porsche. And he's so fancy, Godden, that even back in the 90s, he had a car phone. I remember car phones back in the day. And when cell phones eventually came out, that was the closest thing I can relate them to was a car phone. And I remember thinking, like, how does that work? It's not attached to a car. Like... So he uses his car phone to dial Joanna. He calls Joanna and basically gets the answering machine. It says, "Hi, this is Joanna. I'm out, but I'd really love to hear from you. So please leave a message." "That is, unless it's you, Roger, in which case, don't leave a message. Just stay the hell out of my life, you bastard." He leaves a voicemail basically saying, "Hey, I really wish you'd change your voicemail. I don't like it, having you tell everybody what's going on. Anyway, I'm on my way to the cabin, and I really wish that you would come over because I'm lonely without you." So we get set up, right? Something's going on with him and Joanna. She can't stand him, so much so that she leaves a voicemail, and he still invites her to the cabin. You ever left a voicemail for somebody specifically?
Set up a voicemail or leave a voicemail?
Like set up a voicemail for somebody specifically.
No, I don't think I've ever done that. Mine's just been a general greeting because I'm not looking for no. I mean, maybe if I was a divorcee or something like that, then I'd do it that way. Yeah. But no, I've never done it in the past.
The reason I ask is because I used to do this.
What?
Way back in the day when we didn't have cell phones, we'd get together with our friends, right? And I would, leave the voicemail like, "Hey, you've reached, the phone number. Please leave your message after the beep. If this is Jared, I'm at Ryan's house," right? Or if this is Chris,
Oh.
I'm at so-and-so, right? Like you would just kind of, I would do
Oh.
that all the time. Whenever I would leave, I would always like, because, right, everybody would be meeting at Ryan's house, for instance. And then you would just
Right.
basically say, if you know, anyway, that's why I asked. I used to do that all the time.
That's so funny. Yeah, no. Makes sense though.
So Roger comes across this woman who's stranded on the side of the road. Her truck's broken down and it's storming outside. So he pulls up beside her. She kind of comes over and for help, and he says, "Oh, come on in." Come, you know. So she gets in the car. He says, "I'll call you a cab," and then he goes, "Well, how about I just give you a ride home?" And she goes, "Well, I live too far. I live like back in the city." And he goes, "Well, you know, I'm not trying to be forward, but let's just go. You can come to my place. I live in a big cabin. You'll have privacy, and it'll just be, you know, you'll just be there to be safe until tomorrow." And this is the point in the episode where it starts to play with you back and forth, because in this part of the episode, you don't know if it's Roger or if it's this woman, because the woman also is very suspicious. Because when she gets in the car, she doesn't tell him her name. She calls herself Norma. She eyes a CD that he's listening to. It's some sort of opera called. Oh, by the way, he's listening to opera music this whole time. So she sees some sort of CD, Norma something, the opera. She just says Norma, and he goes, "That's crazy. That's what I'm listening to. Norma, the Druid Priestess, one of the greatest operas in the world." So she's shisty, right? She's not giving him her name, so she's up to something. So it's you're kind of leaning towards, okay, maybe she was the killer last night. Yeah, what did you think of this setup?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe she's the killer. You know, right when he gets picked up, I'm like, oh, is he the next victim in line, or does something happen that veers from that narrative? So I was just kind of hoping how this kind of plays out realistically. I didn't really have any estimations yet, because I was more hooked on him. He's just out here living his own life. He's I'm assuming he's in a bad marriage or something like that, because Joanna says, "Hey, unless it's you, Roger, please don't call me ever again. Like please just leave me alone." And he's like, "Hey, it's Roger, by the way," and he just like goes on with it instead of just leaving her alone for who knows why. And yeah, looks like he's doing pretty well for himself. Porsche, listens to opera. Might be a billionaire for all we know. So we don't really know how he got this money, but it's interesting how these characters meet up. It's a nice little meet cute. It's storming, it's raining, and then of course there's a damsel in distress with a broken truck. So she needs tending to. So yeah, it's pretty simple so far. I was not really suspicious of anything other than Norma for the time being because of the intro. So nothing for me yet, honestly.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that with the phone call. It was funny to hear that happen the way it did, because she said, "Unless it's you, Roger," in which case, leave me alone, you bastard. And then the first thing he says, "Hi, it's Roger." That was funny the way that worked out. So yeah, he picks up quote unquote Norma, and then on the way to the cabin, he stops at like this convenience store, and she's like, "What are we doing here?" And he goes, "Oh, I just want to grab stuff for dinner." And he goes, "You like oysters?" So oysters, of course, being a very famous aphrodisiac, kind of gives you the clue that, oh, he might be up to something. So I think he's hoping, at this point, we're supposed to see it as, oh, maybe he wants to get lucky with her, and maybe he does. Maybe he does. So Roger goes into the store, and when he goes in, the store owner is on the phone, and then the store owner promptly hangs up and says, "Hey, did you hear about that?" Oh no! First he says, "Hey, someone stole my friend's truck." Then he goes on to say, "Did you hear about that killing the other night at the restaurant? Some woman was killed in the bathroom stall at a restaurant." And he goes, "I think it was the same person who stole that truck." So at that moment, that's where Roger looks out into the car to see his passenger. So, right, again, more of this suspicion is being shifted onto this Norma character, and that's where we go out to Norma. And when she's actually rummaging through his car, taking a bunch of his stuff, I think she takes like a roll of quarters, because people had rolls of quarters in their cars back then. Honestly, they did. It was a thing, like for paying tolls if you go over bridges, or paying for a meter at parking. People would always have quarters all over the place. So while she's rummaging through the car, the phone rings. She answers it, and it's Joanna. And Joanna's basically saying, sorry, I left that voicemail. Can we talk? And she goes, sorry, wrong number. This is Norma, the druid princess. She hangs the phone up, and then she sees that the cars are still in the ignition. So she kind of starts to shimmy over like she's going to steal the car. But at that exact moment, Roger comes back. So Norma is starting to look really suspicious at this point, right? She's not giving him a real name. She's driving what might be a stolen truck. She's rummaging through his things, and she's attempting to steal his car. So it's not looking good for Norma. What do you think, Godden?
I think it's funny. I think it's a good portrayal of her being a kleptomaniac. Like the minute he leaves to do something else, the first thing that comes to her is stealing a roll of quarters. I think it was a pen or maybe a cigar. But she's just stuffing things in her pants, just left and right. I wonder if she wasn't even going to steal the car. What if she just stole the keys and puts in her pants? She's like, I don't know where the keys went. Maybe it's just like an impulse, for stealing. And she's like, I don't know.
Remember, that's what happened in Lover Come Hack to Me. Remember on their way to wherever they were going, he gets out to move a branch from the road or something like that. And when he comes back in, they're like, "Where's the keys?" And she's like, "I don't know." Remember that?
Oh my god, I do remember that. That's so funny because this episode does kind of remind us of Lover Come Hack to Me.
Yeah, it does.
The next couple scenes.
It does.
Yeah, it's funny that we actually didn't realize that until I made that small connection.
No, I didn't realize that. Yeah, if she had just taken the keys, it really would have been a Lover Come Hack to Me situation.
Yeah.
When they get back to the cabin, he's kind of giving her, I don't know, he doesn't really give her a tour. They just come in together and they start talking. She starts looking around and she notices like a giant battle axe up on the wall. And Roger tells her basically it's a giant axe that was used to chop off people's heads. And he goes, yeah, there's a notch on it for every head that it chopped off. I guess there's 15 notches on it. And at that point, Roger sends her upstairs to change in the guest room, and that's where Norma says, "Are you married?" And that's where he kind of gets little. This is where the suspicion starts to go on back to him, because he says, "Oh, my relationship status is, it's complicated. It's over basically," but he doesn't really give much specifics about it. And when Norma goes upstairs to change, like, women's clothes are already put out for her, and she notices that she can even still smell the perfume. So she's like, over, you mean like 2 hours ago? Over, like, so she's getting upset with him. And but she does get ready for dinner though. She puts on a dress, and then before she leaves though, she ties like a stocking to the bedpost. And I thought that was interesting. Because later on she does tie him up, but I'm wondering, like, so she must be planning, like, okay, at some point I'm going to seduce him, bring him back up here and tie him up, I think is what her plan is. But at the same time, I can't help but think, like, is that a thing? Tying, I don't know, the way she did it, it seemed very ritualistic to me as opposed to planning, but maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. Is there a thing about tying stockings to bedposts? Is that like a luck thing?
I thought, from what I understand of the character, that she's going to seduce him, tie him up, regardless if it's stocking or not. Because maybe she just prepped it there just so she can use it to tie him up. And then kind of leave him. Because I've seen this in a comedy before, where it was going to get all, freaky deaky, in the night. And then they blindfold the guy and he's all tied up to the bedpost. And then she ends up leaving and stealing everything. So I thought that was kind of the same trope, that she is a kleptomaniac. She's stealing everything, and then she's going to, stash him on the bed, leave him there, and then take everything and leave as soon as possible. So that's what I thought was going to happen. Yeah,
it was just, I guess I just got stuck on the fact that she got a head start on the tying on the bedpost.
Oh, I see.
I don't I don't know. I don't know why my brain got stuck on just that one little piece, but it did. And I just like, why did she do that? Like, even after watching the episode a couple of times and I knew where it was going to go and what she was going to do with that, I still couldn't help but think, yeah, but why is she doing it now? Why is she starting it now? We don't need that moment. She could have just tied him up. Like, I don't know. Anyway. if anything, that might scare him off. If she does seduce him enough to get up to her room and he sees that she's already got that all prepared, it could backfire, and he would be like, wait, what? Like, no, you already planned this? We just met, lady.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but that's not how Tales of the Crypt works, okay? Everything has a moment, and everything's done according to plan.
Yeah. So downstairs, he marvels at her beauty. She does look gorgeous, by the way. This is Brooke Shields, by the way. Does. And he opens up a safe and gives her a necklace, and he makes sure to say it's not cheap. And then they sit down for dinner, and at dinner, that's where you get the backstory on this Norma, the Druid priestess opera. He basically tells her the backstory of it, and it ends with after Norma discovering that her lover has been unfaithful, she decides to commit suicide. But at that moment, her lover joins her, and they walk together towards the funeral pyre as the curtains fall. That's the ending of the opera. And Norma is not impressed. She's like, "That's it? That's how it ends?" The guy cheats on her, and she kills herself. She says she should have taken all the gold and split to Paris or somewhere. So this, like, and he even says, yeah, but that's not romantic, right? That's not poetic. So he wants something that's more meaningful, that's more poetic, and maybe bittersweet in some way. And she just wants the girl to make out with the money and just, leave them behind. Never mind their love for one another. So, I thought that was an interesting little reflection in that moment. What did you think about that? Do you remember that? Any specifics about that opera?
No, not really. I think the most we got from the opera was that scene of him talking about how it kind of ends and the artistic ideas behind it. And I just do like how he's like, well, that's stupid, like I mean, it's just the difference between like art and reality, right? Like she's just talking about reality because why wouldn't she just take the money after being upset with her husband? But I do like how he brings her back by saying it's all about love and death, and she's like, I like that, love and death.
Oh, right.
So at this point too, I think it is her. Like I have a feeling it is her, but at the same time, it could be red herring. Like could Norma be the killer because there was a female killer in the beginning that's darkened in his silhouette. So I was like, yeah, screw it. Maybe it is her. So I'm still taking the bait at this point.
Yeah.
And kind of worried for Roger. So, and Roger seems nice, And actually, funny enough, because I was doing like my own little head count. When we rewatch this, because we know how it goes, a lot of times he always brings up something that has to do with like women. His mom. He wants a crystal. I think it's a type of drink, realistically. Like I mean. Everything he around him, like women just surround his life a lot, and he even mentions that actually during this dinner, where he just loves women in general. So
that's right. He does. He goes on like some weird rant about I love a strong woman. I love the way they smile. Yeah. I love the way they go to the bathroom.
They smell.
So he goes.
So he also sounds sus.
Yeah, he goes. That's me. What about you? Tell me about you. And she goes, what do you want to know? And he goes, well, you could start with, who you really are, what your name is. I know that's not really your name. And that's where things kind of get serious. She even kind of drops the smile. She realizes that he's kind of onto her. And this is where she confides in him. She says, I came here looking for my husband. He said that he just came up here for a fishing trip, but it turns out that he was just shacking up with some bimbo. And he asks, what'd you do? And she goes, I dealt with it. As I think she was using a toothpick or something, but she says, I dealt with it as she smashed it in her hands. And she says, now I can't go back home. So Roger tells her that she could stay with him. She says, I don't know what it is, but I feel this connection with you. Oh no, he says, I don't know what it is, but I feel this connection with you. And Norma says, yeah, I feel it too. I think, spoiler warning, okay, I know that you've already seen this episode before, but when we talk about things chronologically, sometimes it's fun to have it unfold as we talk about it, but I'm gonna go ahead a bit. This connection, do you think this connection is the fact that they're both murderers? I think she killed her husband. And I think Roger is obviously this weird killer as well. So I think there is a connection that they share together. They both see it in each other, maybe subconsciously, like they have this in common. What do you think?
I think it ties in with my summary of the movie show, the crazy versus crazy. Like that, she's a kleptomaniac. He's a little weird. Maybe there is that connection. But yeah, I think with our theory on how this plays out, after watching it, I do like the idea. Like, yeah, maybe they are both killers. Maybe they do have that shared trait, and he knows it more than her, or maybe vice versa. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, how would that work though? I mean, like a whole Bonnie and Clyde situation, where they're both killers. I feel like that interfere because, from what I understand, killers just have different motives. Like I don't know what would scratch their itch together if they both were gonna go on a rampage. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just a whole lust thing. Maybe that's their connection. They like the crime aspect of what they're doing. Like she likes to steal. I don't know what he does at this moment in the scene, but he can't be too much of a goody two shoe. There's no way, like there's something about him that's off. So,
or maybe she just says, yeah, I think so too, because she's trying to seduce him. Right? Her goal, she wants to get him upstairs, tie him up, so she can ransack the place. And that's what basically almost what happens next. They go up to the bedroom. She's tying him up, and he doesn't really want to, but she says, don't, you need to trust me. Don't you think trust is sexy? So she's trying to tie him up, but at that moment, you hear something downstairs. So Roger unties himself. He runs downstairs. Norma listens from up above. And I keep calling her Norma. I don't know what her name is. And you can hear Roger arguing with a woman downstairs. And the woman's basically, you have a woman here, and basically, from Norma's perspective, it looks like Roger's wife just came home and is, they're going to have a fight. So Roger comes back upstairs, puts her outside and back into the storm, right? But she sneaks back in. By the way, something we didn't mention. When she went upstairs to change, right before she tied the stocking to the bedpost, she was like ransacking the room. She took like a pearl necklace, all kinds of other things. She was just like stashing them in her purse. So while she's outside, she comes back inside to get her purse. So it was her greed. It was her greed that brought her back into danger, back into the house. Right? She wants to get her jewels. Then she sneaks downstairs and tries to go outside. She gets to the front door and turns around and sees that safe is open and there's jewels in the safe. So more jewels, more treasures. And she turns around away from the door and goes towards the safe. So again, it's her greed that gets her into trouble. Because once she goes back deeper into the house, she steps on the TV remote, and then the TV pops on, and you can see Roger dressed as a woman shouting. So, right, like that's what she was hearing when they were talking over each other, was this TV on and them arguing, and that's where it gets revealed. Roger / Joanna comes out holding that giant battle axe, and basically, Joanna tells Norma, he's mine, you can't have him, and axes her to death. Godden, what'd you think?
It caught me off guard. I did not expect for him to have some sort of alter ego going on. Maybe he did kill her in the diner in the beginning, but I was questioning that too, because if he is the main killer, was he on the date initially with that blonde girl, and then he went to go change when she was doing that, and then killed her in the bathroom?
It must have been him, right? It must have been his first person perspective on that first date.
Or was it Norma's husband cheating on her on that date with that blonde woman, and he saw that, and you know what I mean? Like, was there like a whole paths intertwining kind of moment too? Because like we definitely take the red herring bait. Like, yeah, maybe it is her. Maybe it is her, especially with what she said. With she dealt with it. So, but I like the idea that maybe they just had their own stories and they just came together coincidentally. She's out here stealing, making more lies because she wants to steal more. And then he has such a good what's the word? Like alibi. He has such a great alibi, but he's actually the killer this whole entire time. So it's just interesting to see like he's the bad guy because that doesn't catch you. And it is weird. Like he has a recording of him as Joanne. Like he already has one set up already. Maybe this is who he talks to on the TV when he's. Maybe that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna have dinner. He's gonna put on the recording and just have dinner with her in that way. So he's definitely crazy. Not as crazy as her.
Some might say not only crazy, some might say he's a psycho.
He's a psycho, yeah. So I do like it. I do like this story. It's very interesting. It's a good take.
And one thing that's interesting to me is when they're at the convenience store and we're following Norma going through that car and then the phone rings and it's Joanna. Mm-hmm. Are we supposed to assume that he was using the phone in the store to call his car?
Yeah, I think after the second watch, I think it's believable. But at the first time, you don't think that. But yeah, I do think after he looked at Norma and maybe saw her rifling through his stuff and stealing, he decides to kind of give a test and call her and see what happens. Because I feel like a normal person would either not answer the phone or say, "Hey, so and so is not here at the moment." But she straight up said, "I'm Norma, the Druid priestess." It's like, all right. So it's interesting.
Yeah. And I wonder if when Roger is Norma, does he know that he's just kind of fantasizing, or I wonder if he really thinks like, okay, now like does he have like multiple personalities? Now I am Joanna. Because when he called, maybe if that part of his brain switched to Joanna, maybe he really thought like I need to get a hold of Roger, and then that woman answered, and then that kind of pissed off Joanna. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of maybe we're thinking too deeply about this.
But that's what makes it great.
That's what makes it great.
It's a good episode.
Then we go back to the Crypt Keeper, who says, I know they say blondes have more fun, but you got to admit, redheads really know how to swing. So, till next time, kiddies, I hope you'll excuse me, but I've got a little private business to take care of. It's the only way to fry. I've always wanted... Oh, he's in an electric chair, by the way. He pulls it, it electrocutes him. It's the only way to fry. I've always wanted to join the Mile Die Club. I like that. This is absolutely not... I'm not going to say a ripoff. This is a huge homage to Psycho. It's very, very Psycho in this. And I'm trying to think, when was Psycho a movie? Because the comic was back in the 50s, right? When was Psycho the movie? Was Psycho the movie back in the 50s?
I think it was in the 60s.
Was it in the 60s?
Double check.
So the comic very well could have come out before. And then when they doctored it up for the 1990s, they might have looked back to Psycho for inspiration. I don't think this is a ripoff at all. I think this is a very good homage to Psycho, done very done with care and craft, I feel. Did you look up the date, by the way?
I did. Yeah, it's exactly in 1960. And it's funny enough, his name is Norman, and we have Norma, but
that's right. Yeah, Norman Bates. Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, Norma as opposed to Norman was they kind of switched it. They kind of switched the role, or switched the male to the female character. But I did notice quite a bit of parallels between the two. The first kill is in a bathroom, right? When Norman kills the Janet Leigh character, she's in the bathroom. Well, so is the main character here. And one of the final scenes in the bathroom is that blood swirling down the drain. And one of the last scenes in the bathroom here is a zoom in of that blood against the floor. So very good parallels in this that I was quite impressed by. In Psycho, there's that long extended scene of, I can't remember the Janet Leigh character for the life of me. The Janet Leigh main character is driving down the road for an extended period of time. She's driving and then she ends up getting pulled over. And this episode has an extended driving scene where we follow Roger just driving in his car. So I saw that parallel as well, which I thought was pretty good. And the finale taking place in that large cabin, I felt really mirrored the finale of Psycho taking place in that giant manor, the Bates Manor. I thought that was a pretty remarkable parallel there as well. And in the very end of Psycho, when they pull that light switch and then it kind of flings back and forth and you see those shadows being, cast all over the walls behind them. The finale in this one, there's that fireplace and you see their shadows kind of flickering behind. So I thought there were so many little touches of Psycho in this episode's DNA. I mean, obviously, right, the ultimate finale of a man cross-dressing as a woman is, right, that takes the cake, right? That's the obvious, pie in the face right there. But as far as everything else, there was a lot of subtlety done throughout the entire episode that I thought was a lot of fun to look for. I'm sure there's a lot more that I missed, but I just was kind of just, trying to keep an eye on little Psycho references. I also haven't seen that movie for years, so there could have been quite a bit more that I didn't really notice. Also, the very first scene being from the killer's perspective, that mirrors Halloween, which has the opening sequence all be from Michael Myers' perspective. And Halloween being a very famous slasher, right? A very famous, influential slasher, stars Jamie Lee Curtis, who is Janet Leigh's daughter. So my brain was like banging on all cylinders on kind of making all these connections. I just thought it was really, really... So I think this was absolutely a giant homage, a huge amount of whoever the director was, I missed it, and writer clearly had a lot of love in their heart for Psycho, and I found it quite remarkable to look through and a lot of fun to look through. This is definitely an episode that I'd want to watch again for that alone, just to see the parallels. It might even be fun to watch Psycho and then have this be a double feature with that. Okay, anything else that you want to add on about similarities between this and other things?
I think Psycho is the main one, but I did enjoy it, like you mentioned too, and also learned a little bit too. I didn't know Janet Leigh was Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. Mm-hmm. I never knew that. So that's cool. That's a nice little factoid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a Psycho, not a spinoff, but a mini Psycho. You just want to watch something quick, put on some Tales from the Crypt. So.
Yeah, maybe instead of crazy versus crazy, you can call it Psycho versus Psycho. They were both quite psycho. Oh, you know what? Before I get to our ratings, we do have a voicemail, Godden. We have a voicemail about this episode, Came the Dawn. Iron Sabbath came through to leave us a voicemail about this episode. Let's hear what Iron Sabbath has to say about this particular episode.
Came the Dawn. This is another one of my all-time favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes. This one is actually in my top 10. A lot of people say it's a Psycho ripoff, but that's a little harsh, I think. I think this one stands on its own as a really great episode. You got a young Brooke Shields in here, and I mean, this one starts off right away with the blood, and it goes from there. A lot of tension in this one. The opera music in this episode actually creeps me out a lot. I think it actually really adds to the episode, the fact that he's addicted to opera and that whole thing. And yeah, there's some great scenes in this. And when Roger reveals himself to be his own wife at the end of the episode, it's incredible. It's one of them. Distinctly remember this episode scaring the shit out of me when I was a kid, and it still holds up today. It's absolutely fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do, because this one doesn't get enough of its praise. This is actually one of the ones I feel is one of the most underrated of the entire show. And I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 Psycho references.
5 out of 5 Psycho references. Thank you, Iron. Yeah, I'm gonna match that. I'm gonna give this episode a 5. I think it does have some issues, but I just think the way that they very carefully paid homage to just an epic horror slasher. I think they did a great job with this. So I'm also gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give this a 5. What, Godden? 5. 5-finger pour of champagne. I'm going to pour champagne over 5 out of 5 fingers. So, 5 out of 5 fingers covered in champagne.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's so funny, Kenny. Yeah, you actually, I think from our first watch, yeah, you actually gave it a lot more points this time. Because I think we were around roughly the same. And then, yeah, I wasn't expecting to give it a full 5. So, yeah, that's actually a good take. I think I'll stick with mine. I do agree it can definitely be a 5. It's really strong. It's fun, and it's actually kind of hard to nitpick the bad things. But just for like my own taste, it's not a full 5. But maybe when we do the review, maybe it will get an honorary somehow. But I'll stick with my original. I'll give it a 4. I'll give it 4 stolen quarters. Just to stay with the the rules of 4. Yeah,
so $1 worth of quarters.
Yeah. Just thinking back, it is fun. I think it's a good cast. I think it's a good way to have an alternate style of Psycho if you just want something quick. Instead of explaining the whole thing here, just watch Tales. This is basically what Psycho's about. And honestly, yeah, I can't wait to rewatch this in the future.
Yeah,
with anyone.
Yeah, when we were watching this together out in Tahoe, we talked a little bit about, well, what would you give it? What would you? And I think I was closer to 4, maybe even 4.5. So I think I was somewhere in that neighborhood. Do you remember exactly what I gave it?
I think you were 4.5.
4.5.
I think
yeah. I did like it. I was impressed by it, but I watched it and I thought, well, it's just Psycho, right? So when I watched it this time, I was thinking more about the Psycho angle, and that's where the parallels really started to hit me, and I found it quite striking that I was impressed, I suppose, by the effort they put into it. So I liked it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for a 5. I'm gonna be generous on this episode. Thought they did a great job with it. I'm a big fan of slashers. It's good to see some slasher action back, and it does have some flaws, but I guess I can overlook those, or at least polish them up a little more, being in an episode that I think is quite remarkable in other ways. So there you have it. All right. So 5 and a 4 for an average of 4.5. Thank you, by the way, Iron, for leaving that voicemail. If you want to leave a voicemail to actually be part of the episode, when this episode airs, we will be getting ready to record season 5, episode 12, Halfway Horrible. So you want to leave if you're watching this episode right now, you want to leave a voicemail for that episode, and then we can play it. Okay. Well, speaking of correspondence, the last episode to air at the filming of this was Well Cooked Hams, and we have some correspondence from Well Cooked Hams. Horrorhead Reactions comes back through and says, one of my favorite episodes of the series. So Horrorhead, that's your, I'm assuming that's probably one of your top tier episodes. Very good episode. Well Cooked. By the way, Well Cooked Hams was the one where what happened in Well Cooked Hams? Godden, I forget actually. What was that one? It was
The Prestige. The Prestige.
Oh, that was the Martin Sheen episode. Yeah. The Prestige. Good. Yeah, good episode. Joseph Hill comes through and says, maybe Godden's synopsis for this one should have been Prestige from the Crypt.
Oh, that's funny. Maybe he should help me write these.
He says, Well Cooked Hams draws a lot of parallels from other episodes, but still does its own thing. You have the desperate performer who will do anything like top billing, but not a carbon copy like Beauty Rest, aka topless billing. There's the mentor/mentee relationship like Strung Along. Also a performer that is bad at their act like Ventriloquist Dummy. There's a betrayal and a murder of the mentor like Dig That Cat. I like this deep dive here.
These are smart. Yeah.
Miles reminds me a lot of the character Fazio in Leprechaun 3. This is where it loses me a little bit. I've watched Leprechaun 3, but not enough to know the characters' names. He's an arrogant magician that isn't very good. They also both die by their own trick being sabotaged. I do remember this part. In Leprechaun 3, he uses the chainsaw to cut through somebody, and then like he waves his hands like it's some magic trick, and he opens it up, and he like literally is just cut in half, and it's like blood and guts are all just right there. I do remember that scene very well. He gives the episode 3.5 Martin Sheen personas out of 5. Thank you, Joseph. Ash Likes Horror comes through. Also, this is with Well Cooked Hams. I love Billy Zane and Martin Sheen in this episode. Another one where the actors do a lot of heavy lifting. I agree. Billy Zane was hilarious in this episode, and Martin Sheen was good as well. Still one of my personal favorites, and it might be my bias for Zane being awesome in Demon Knight. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of bias for Billy Zane. I love Billy Zane. I thought he was the shining star in Demon Knight. He was so good in that. Ash goes on to give this episode 4.5 glasses of Chablis out of 5. Remember, he was drinking Chablis at the end?
He was, yeah.
Tinkerbella comes through. I think this is a first-time commenter. Godden, Tinkerbella, welcome aboard. This comment's also about well-cooked hams. Love the show. Hey, thank you, Tinkerbella. Glad to have you on board. Would you guys be interested in doing the animated series or a quick talk about the game show they had called Secrets of the Crypt Keeper's Haunted House? Let's take this one piece at a time. The animated series. Godden and I, we already talked about this a little bit before. I was entertaining the idea after this of going through and doing the animated Crypt Keeper show. So I was kind of doing a little bit of research and just watched a couple of episodes, and that's really all I could give it. It was so cringy. It's just like obnoxiously cringy. It's so childish. Not that that's a bad thing. I watch lots of childish things and I don't mind it. The difference is I grew up with those childish things. I don't mind watching Goosebumps. That show's horrendously bad. But I love watching it because it reminds me when I was a kid, I used to like race home from school so I can watch Goosebumps. So I love that show. It has nostalgia for me. I've got no nostalgia. I didn't know this Tales from the Crypt cartoon existed. So I have no nostalgia for it. So when I watch it, it's so bad. It's so bad. I cannot get into it. So I don't know if we're going to do that show. Maybe... I don't know. Maybe if we find like the top 5 episodes of the show, it might be worth kind of diving into those specific ones. But I can't do it. I don't want to turn this podcast into a job, God, and just be stuck watching these terrible cartoons.
Right.
But the Secrets of the Crypt Keeper's Haunted House, I'd never heard of this, God, and I did a little bit of research before the show popped up, and I watched a couple of episodes. It's kind of like a What Would You Do type show where it's a live action game show. The Crypt Keeper is like the host, and these kids do these like weird like activities. It's kind of weird. It's got like some CGI elements in it too. Like one of the episodes I was watching, they're in this giant room, they're on a bridge, and like balls are being thrown at them while they're also being asked trivia questions. And it's just it's kind of a weird show. I imagine I probably would have liked it if I was a kid. But yeah, have you heard of, well, first of all, have you watched any of the Crypt Keeper cartoons? And have you ever heard of this Crypt Keeper game show?
No to both. I actually had to search up the game show and see what it's all about. It reminded me of this one Nickelodeon show. I forget what it was called, but it was like something about like the like a monkey, because they had this. It was more of a trial run than the
That's
trivia
what
thing,
it is. I remember this monkey show you're talking about. It's like that.
Yeah.
The show's like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it reminded me of. So, but for the show, I've only seen just pictures of what it looks like for scenes, but I actually have not sat down and watched a full episode.
I think it's on Tubi or something, or HBO Max. It's somewhere. I watched a couple of the cartoon episodes. Maybe we can watch a couple together to see what we think. But I watched the first 2 episodes, season 1, episode 1, and episode 2 is what I watched, and they were both too long by half. They were both a little long. They were just a little too cartoon. And like the way they do the ad breaks, it's like worse than, I think it's worse than the Magic School Bus. Magic School Bus is also pretty dumb, but I think I like that better than this. Anyway.
That's so funny.
I think we have another first-time commenter. I don't think I've ever seen a comment from Moultrie Manic McKenney. Is that how you read that?
Moultrie Manic McKenney. Yeah.
Moultrie Manic McKenney. Okay. Well, Moultrie comes through. This is about Corman's Calamity. Remember, that's the one where he draws the pictures and they come to life. A great episode, by the way.
That.
He says, when you see him drawing, those are the hands of the person. The hands of the person drawing is the artist Mike Vosberg, who does all the comic covers in the series. How about that?
We found it. We found the person.
So that's who's doing all of these opening panels that we take so much time admiring.
I feel like someone mentioned this before because that does sound familiar.
I think so too, but the name though, not the fact that the person drawing.
Oh
it,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Moultrie, for that fun fact. I love fun facts about the show, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Another, I think, first-time commenter, Butterscotch Octopus comes through. This is regarding food for thought. This is that weird episode where that one guy reads that girl's mind, or vice versa. She reads his mind while he's like eating and licking his plate.
Mm-hmm.
Butterscotch says, the first movie that comes to mind when I think of Phil Fondacaro is Ghoulies 2. I can remember him wearing the monster costume in the Satan's Den spook house scene. I've never watched Ghoulies 2. I watched Ghoulies 1. I never watched Ghoulies 2. Have you ever seen Ghoulies?
I actually don't think I even heard of that movies.
Like back in like the late 80s and 90s, they had these like this weird run of like tiny monsters. I think it started with like Gremlins, and then it like Critters came out, and then there was Ghoulies, there was the Munchies, there was like all kinds of weird like tiny little critter alien monster movies. So Ghoulies was one of those. I watched that when I was a kid, but I never watched Ghoulies 2. That does it for Horrorspondence. If you want to leave a comment down below, we're more than happy to read it on here to get a little conversation going. So don't be scared of that comment section, peoples. We're glad to have you aboard. Godden, if people are still watching if you're still watching at this point in the episode, what do you want to have them say, Godden?
What is the weirdest thing they stole?
If you're still watching at this point, what is the weirdest thing you've ever stolen? Godden, what's the weirdest thing you've ever stolen? I got to think about this.
I set up the prompt, but I actually was not prepared to deep dive to see if there's anything I stole.
The weirdest thing I've ever stolen. When I was a kid, I used to walk to a gas station that was near my house, and they had bulk bins back then. And I would just reach in and grab like handfuls of candy and walk out. But I was young, though. I just thought that they were there for people, and I would just go get them. So I don't think of that as stealing, even though I was. Let me think more specifically. What's the weirdest thing I ever stole? Or what's something that's been stolen from you that you still are upset about?
I think I only have one. Yeah.
What?
I have one story. This girl I went on a date with ended up stealing my hoodie. I'll never see that hoodie ever again.
Oh, your hoodie.
Yeah. Well, article of clothing gone. Gone with the wind.
Oh my gosh. That bitch.
Well, if ever I go to the high school reunions, I'll definitely see her. So.
Oh my gosh. Call her out. Where's my hoodie?
Where's my hoodie?
Something I stole.
Or something stolen from you.
Or something stolen from me. This is a tough one for me. Not that I'm a total square, but stealing isn't really my thing, though. So I went to a restaurant with a friend, and we ate, okay? And then we're waiting for the bill, and we're waiting for the bill, and we're waiting for the bill, and nobody comes to us. Nobody's there.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, let's just go. And my friend's like, no, we can't go. God. We got to stay here. I was like, all right, fine. So finally, I was like, all right, why don't you go to the bathroom? I'll take care of the bill, and then let's get out of here. He goes to the bathroom, and out we go. I didn't pay. Not only did I not pay, I lied to my friend that I paid.
Are you still friends with this person?
I took credit for paying for the bill, and I didn't pay for it. I think he knows. He probably knows I did.
Are you still friends with this person?
Yeah.
Okay. That's so funny. I've always wanted to dine and dash. Just like a little urge. I'm like, let's do it. It'd be so cool. This $300 bill, we can totally just leave.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, this bill was not $300. This bill was not.
When was this? Was this like when you're in college or high school?
This was just a couple of years ago.
Oh.
Pretty recently.
Wait, that's so much funnier.
Grown ass man. Dining
Yeah,
dash.
no
we were
one
not
knew.
getting service. We were not getting service. I think they legit forgot we were up there. All right. Well, with that, let's go to shout outs. We like to shine the light back out onto the horror community. The last few podcasts, we really only kind of just directed you to go down below to click on any links that you like. Let's pick one. Let's pick one from our list here to shout out. I always give a shout out to Haddonfield. I think I've done them the most. There's Creeps of the Crypt. We still we're past them, by the way. We passed them, so we are ahead of Creeps of the Crypt. If you're interested in Tales from the Crypt, go check those guys out. Those are some good guys there. Well, you know what? Let's shine a little light back out onto the TheJimiRyan and Iron Sabbath. They both have podcasts of their own that they're just getting started up. So go check them out. The links are down below. Show them some love. Come on now.
Come on now.
Come on now. And of course, there's us. We have our credentials below our beautiful faces here. Go check those out. Godden, you back. You left and then you came back.
I dropped something by accident.
Oh, you dropped something. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything last you want to say before we get out of here? Because we're almost out of here, Godden. What are you reading? Are you reading anything?
At the moment?
Yeah.
Does coursework count? Just for my schooling?
Coursework counts. Show us a textbook that you're working with, or do you have it all on?
Oh no. It's all online.
Electronic. Okay.
Yeah, it's all electronic. I don't have a physical textbook. Yeah, I guess for novels wise, I'm not reading anything at the moment. Yeah, maybe I'm reading this for all I know.
Oh, you still have that next to your computer. Mine's way the hell back there.
Always
I
always have it.
Oh, I love that about that, Godden. I love that.
It's part of my decor. Yeah,
I love it. I finished up the first Game of Thrones. I think I am going to keep going with them, but I'm taking a break.
Okay.
I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, the first book. I'm about almost 3/4 of the way through that. I'm having fun with that. And then audiobooks, because I also do audiobooks with my Libby app. I'm listening to the Dresden Files. So I'm almost through book 2 of the Dresden Files. And that's what I'm reading. Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, if you're still listening at this point, what are you reading?
Oh yeah. Let's add that as well. Yeah, I would like more suggestions because Kenny's really trying to get me to read Dungeon Crawler Carl.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl. Well, if you are following along with us, by next week you want to watch season 5, episode 11. Oils well that ends well. If you want to leave a voicemail and be actually part of the episode, then you want to leave a voicemail for Halfway Horrible. That's that. We hope you had a great time, kiddies. And remember, wherever you may go, whatever you may seek, we'll all get together same time next week. Until then, we here at the Cryptique Podcast wish you all, what are we going to wish them, Godden?
Sweet frightmares.
Sweet frightmares.
Well, how was that for a scream, boys and ghouls?